Hello guys, I'm really glad to see you on our crypto channel, and today we have a very interesting conversation with a representative of Infinity Force. It's a Sam Welk, if I'm not mistaken. So, and today we will have some questions about the project, about the perspective, about the key milestones, advantages, and key features, and etc. So here we go. Let's start. Who will be the first?
Yeah, let me be. Yeah. In a nutshell, Sam, would you share with us what Infinity Force is all about and what do you do best?
Yeah, well, I mean, first off, just a quick introduction about myself. I'm Sam Welch, one of the co-founders of Infinity Force. I head up all of marketing and a few other departments. And I'm based in San Francisco, so I love the background there.
Yeah.
I live about 2 minutes away. I think I can see my apartment from there. So very cool. But to answer your question, Infinity Force is a management solution serving all of Web3. We are currently heavily focused and indexed on GameFi ecosystem because we identified earlier this year that or earlier last year, actually, that there are so many problems that plague the industry within games and communities, and especially with guilds. So our system currently solves what I like to say as connecting gamers to guilds and guilds to games. And so we offer a solution that takes all the manual overhead away from these three audiences. So with players, there's seamless application, process, and placement on a team. They love to play and earn. For guilds, Infinity Force's management platform tracks your team's real-time performance, facilitates the lending of NFTs to their players, and handles all of the payment processing and really so much more. And finally, for games, we are essentially their growth engine. So if the players and guilds, think about it this way, if they all live on our platform and are connected to their games, they have access to a massive player base that may have not heard of their game before. And that's a big issue that I've actually noticed within a lot of these games that are coming out. There's so many, and there are quite a few really high quality games that have been in development for multiple years. And because they've been so focused on development, one thing that they haven't been able to focus on is really the marketing and the community growth. And so if you don't have players hyper engaged with your project and ready to play the game, you're often going to just miss out on the whole thing, and your game will not get picked up. So that's one of really the things that we're aiming to solve.
Oh, that's pretty cool, just to see Infinity Force like creating a connection between the games and the guilds. So basically the next question I actually feel like you've already answered, but if you have anything else. So like, how you say like you connect gamers and guilds and games. So how do you accommodate their needs more just with the guild management platform?
Yeah, no, I can definitely elaborate further on that. So let me start with guilds. Okay, so back, I forget which year it is, but in 2021, we started our own internal guild, and what we did with it, it served as a way for us to understand the problems with guilds and to use essentially as a way to drive our product vision. So one thing that sets us apart from a lot of projects is that our product was actually built beforehand, and we implemented it within our own guild, and which we call the Infinity Guild, but separate than Infinity Force. I don't want to make that confusion, right? And we were able to scale from 10 to 1,500 scholars in a matter of a couple months, right? And that was mainly in part due to our solutions that we have in place from the ones that I just touched on. And then talking about players, so there's one major issue with players that, especially in emerging markets, where you have a high barrier to entry. Let's take Axie Infinity, for example, starting say like September of last year, right? And it costs upwards of $1,000 USD to even have access to the game. And so what we allow is a seamless way for them to apply on our platform and get placed on a team to play for free, the game that they desire to play and earn for free. So no more going through Discord servers and going through weird application processes and hoping you get picked up by a guild. This is all where we step in and take care of that for them. So I would say that we're doing a really good job for players, and there's so many out there that we hope to bring on as many as possible. And then for games, as I touched on, we, like, through our technology and through our SDK, as they are going through development, we provide a solution where they can integrate within our platform. They can customize their in-game economy to the services that we provide, and also give them access to these guilds who want to play. And that is really the value that we drive for games.
That's great. Sounds pretty amazing. So what is your expectations? What are you looking to achieve in the coming years as a play to earn guild management system in the field of GameFi industry in general, probably?
Yeah, so I mean, it's a really large and booming industry right now, very much in its infancy though. And because there's so many projects coming alive in the space, I absolutely love to see it, frankly. Like, I don't feel nervous about someone coming in and having a solution similar to ours. You're absolutely right to some extent, but I view it as almost an ocean of opportunity for people on a global scale. So decentralized development, as I mentioned before, getting away from these tech hubs, especially in the United States. So I'm based in Silicon Valley, obviously, and it is a huge bubble. I've been here I went to school at Berkeley. I moved to San Francisco afterwards. I witnessed the growth of, Facebook and LinkedIn and all of these major companies. However, it's a really big bubble, right? Where everyone thinks they're the most talented. That's where all the venture capital is. But people fail to realize that there's so many good ideas out there, and blockchain technology provides opportunity for these people that want to build. And there are parts of the world where they are more mature on a business level, on a marketing level. They're more in touch with the industries within Web3, and I mean, it's just very, very excited. I'm like very, very, very excited to be kind of a part of it, right? Like, from the education aspect that leads to adoption at a massive scale, to access to the financial tools, the traditional financial tools for the individuals that are unbanked, to solving problems that are frankly unsolvable with traditional Web2 products. So that is the beauty I see in technology of blockchain. And for Infinity Force, we are a much needed infrastructure in that supports the GameFi industry. We aren't a game, we aren't a guild, we have an internal guild. Again, don't want to confuse that. We use it as a bit of a yield generator and a way for us to continue to pay attention to communities and understand their issues, so that we get the features right that players want to have and guild managers want to have. So our focus is to solve and continue to build solutions that arise as the industry evolves, in a sense. So Our roadmap actually extends not just to 2022. It's a 5 to 10 plus year roadmap, because this is a movement that's essentially going to take over the world. And our focus really is to solve and continue to build solutions that arise, as everything becomes more structured and all these new projects are coming out. So we actually have a research team in-house that is constantly evaluating certain business verticals that have yet to even be touched within Web3. And we're currently building, we have a separate team outside of Infinity Force that are building products in parallel that will be launched in the years to come. So we're very forward thinking, and we're definitely a long-term project. So we're something to really pay attention to, in my opinion, because we're builders, we're problem solvers at heart, and we have the resources and the talent to achieve our goals. So
speaking of your roadmap, you probably already have achieved some milestones or key milestones that you can share with us, maybe.
Oh God, where do I start? So yeah, very, very, very exciting. As I mentioned earlier, we scaled our guild using our own product, right? Which was super cool to witness, where we got up to 1,500 scholars, and just with the tools that were not fully fleshed out, but had the features that served as a test bed. And we figured out what was working, what wasn't working. And as we continue to monitor that internal guild, where it's helping us, pay attention to the community, pay attention to the games that are being played, and really help with the features that are being developed. So that was a major milestone, I think, and I'll do this in sequential order. So one other, thing obviously that came out in January, but we closed in December, was our announcement about all the capital and support from all of our investors and the VCs. So that was a huge milestone for us, because what it did was, it gave us a bit of social proof and confidence in our vision. So then, of course, we hired an amazing team, very talented team across marketing, across creative, across product, across everything that you need. And we keep our team fairly lean, because as a startup, it's not for us, it's not a matter of lack of resources. What it is we're just getting A+ talent to execute. And we hire as we see gaps, right, in our resources. So for example, there might be something where after a couple of weeks, we're like, shoot, we need someone to fill this gap. And so we go and look for the most qualified person to come in and work with us, someone who fits within our familial culture, who is very much a hard worker, but also is ambitious and has the ideas of their own, right? Because we're a company that very much values the voice of everyone on the team. From the lowest levels to the most senior levels. As someone who's a co-founder, I have my ear is completely open to everyone at the company, and my direction to them is essentially, don't be afraid to speak. If you have an idea, if you have a way of implementing a strategy to get from A to B, just say it and let's work on it together. And that collaboration is really, really, really exciting. The other milestone I would say is we've partnered with quite a few people, from games to guilds to technology, and on the game side, we partnered with some of the most anticipated games of 2022, and that is that's a strong signal that these games are going to be played already by, they have massive audiences. Their Discords are, 200,000 plus people, right? So when they release the game, they're going to be excited to play, and if we're integrated within their game, they're going to be using our platform. So that was another and continues to be another milestone as we vet games and decide to bring them on the platform. I guess the next milestone would be, building out this user experience where we're releasing a new website. It'll be released sometime in this week, probably tomorrow, actually, with a brand new customer flows and just creating this simplified process for all of these three audiences to get involved. It was something that I really was keen on doing early, and also conveying all of the information and resources about our product so people understood what our vision is, what our mission is. It's not fluff, it's real tech that is solving a problem, and it's helping these communities, grow and become more efficient, and also play and earn the games that they love to play. So this all comes back to gaming, right? And I love the shift from P to E to what we're hearing now is play and earn, right? Where it's a very much a gaming focused phrase shift, right? Where the game comes first, and some of them have these free to play models where anyone can access the game. There isn't a large barrier to entry, and if they choose to invest and want to earn, they can do so. So obviously we support the earning aspect of it, but outside of that, like, the really exciting part is, again, going back to this evolution of the space. You have all of these games coming out that are evolving in the sense where, hey, we see that this other in-game economy had these pitfalls, and so we are adjusting our in-game economy to really support our player base and support the people who want to do micro investing and so forth. So I would say that finally our other biggest milestone really is that this SDK that we have developed that allows us to really simply integrate with games that are in development, where they can then customize and tailor their in-game economy and their assets to our dashboards, and allow the guilds on our platform to not just have a one size fits all sort of experience with Infinity Force, but something where if they're playing game A versus game B, they may have entirely different dashboard setup. They may have payment processing that's completely different. And by working with the tech teams from other games closely with our tech teams, this is something that is really going to streamline that process, right? Instead of doing native integrations where there's so much technology overhead and so time consuming, this is more of a turnkey solution, right? For the games that we believe have a great vision and are going to be desired to play. And we're not talking about just large games. We're talking about games, again, that may not have the audience to really to grow and to continue to develop games that people love to play. So I know I just listed a ton of milestones, so many more to come, but it just is indicative of my excitement over the product.
No. I mean, it's really great to get to know a project at this level, because as you've said, the SDK integration of games and the traction just proves that it justifies that what Infinity Force has to offer is of value to people. So we're kind of glad that you've shared these points with us. And now I really want to get deeper into, your fundraising in January. So seed round fundraising led by Animoca Brands, it's just, an amazing way to just start the year. And first of all, congratulations for that one.
You.
And yeah, and further to that, we are really curious, like, what did Infinity Force team do differently to just achieve this kind of milestone?
The key thing that we did differently was we built the product first. So we led with not just an idea, but we actually started development of it early on. And as I touched on in this interview so far, was how we began testing it within our own guild, right? That was really the purpose of developing the guild, was to have a place where we had voice of the customer, right? And we had a way to develop features that people want. And I would say that we are differentiated in the sense that what I've seen within Web3 is that it's a highly speculative place, right? Where it's almost the opposite of traditional Web2 business models, where you need a specific number of daily active users or a certain ARR before VCs will even frankly look at you. So being so speculative, you see quite a few investors taking almost gambles on projects with visions, but not a lot of execution. So I heard one time, actually, here's a story, an anecdote, was at this stage in the product lifecycle, it's all about marketing. So driving hype, right? And I agree to some extent, but in order to market well, you have to have something to show, to drum up real interest, real engagement and excitement, to build a community and that wants to essentially be a part of the Infinity Force journey. And they assist us in a way where, word of mouth is one of the best marketing tactics ever. And also having real conversations of substance within our channels also is important, and you can't accomplish that without having something to show, because it's essentially a transaction, right? Where you have a product or you have a project, and if you aren't constantly communicating your roadmap, your product development, the use cases and the value props that will excite the community, you're going to fail, or you're going to attract the wrong audience, right? And that's one thing I really noticed. So Animoca brands, highly supportive. They have been pouring so much money. I think they're leading the world right now in developing GameFi, and I think it's really exciting to be a part of it, right? Because we're not a game, we're a tool, and we're the underlying kind of piping of verticals like GameFi, which again is our primary focus at this moment and for the rest of the year. So yeah.
That's great. Your way of expressing ideas really inspire me, So, speaking about your roadmap, how will Infinity Force progress? And our subscribers would like to know what's in store for them at this moment, and what should they wait for?
Yeah, so we're building and building. Right? That's it. It's we've done so much research into the unmet needs of our communities that we want to release a product with the features that they truly desire, that will truly make an impact in all of the upcoming games that are going to be released. So we've already started integration process with some of our gaming partners set to release in Q2, Q3. Our upcoming beta is set to go live very soon and will be available to early access registrants and people within our own guild to just break our system. Like, that's the whole point of releasing a beta, right? Not saying our system is going to break, but we need that test, right, before we release to the global audience. So Obviously, our IDO and public sale of our DAO token, which is INFF, that will happen quite soon. So I encourage everyone who is listening to just pay attention to what the information that we're putting out there, follow our socials, and you will be updated on a consistent basis about our roadmap, about the things that we're pouring out right now. We have a lot coming up in the next month, I would say, and so that's, yeah, again, going back, I keep using the word excitement, but it's really the epitome of our whole team, and and like what we're feeling right now. So
it will be pretty hard to do it for such a complex product, but would you mind summarizing it maybe in exactly 3 words? What is Infinity Force? Exactly 3 words.
Exactly 3 words.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll use that question.
Woo. Do prepositions count? I would have said that. I would have said the growth engine or growth engine of Web3, but of counts as a word. So I will go with infrastructure of Web3. Going back to what I was saying earlier, the underlying infrastructure that's much needed and solving quite a few problems. So yeah.
Thank you very much for being with us today. It's really a pleasure for us to communicate with your team, and I think you achieve all the goals that you plan this year or next year. It doesn't matter, because the blockchain brings something amazing in our life, and day by day we can see it, touch it, and understand and realize how our lives change day by day. So thank you very much, guys, for this amazing conversation, and it's really a pleasure for me to be part of this wonderful blockchain world.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for having me, and if anyone needs to reach out to me, like anyone in the audience or viewers need to reach out to me, just I'm very active on Twitter and our Telegram and our Discord. You'll easily find me. I'm the guy. I have an avatar that looks kind of like me. I don't know if it's quite resembles, but if you ask me a question, I'm always open to conversation. So I look forward to having more conversations with you all, and yeah. Again, thank you so much for having me.
That's great. So let's finalize. Thank you very much. Today we have a very wonderful conversation with Infinity Force, and stay in touch with us, stay in a profitable mode, and have a nice time, guys. Bye.
Hi.